and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Here we go. Must be a thirsty Thursday. The boss man, yeah, the heel Neil Rule. He is replaced by the Detroit legend himself, two-time NBA champion Lindsay Hunter, and I am Darren McCarty. This is Big D Energy. Sam Flannel. Oh, I just predict bad day for you, Sam. Bad day for you, but you are here, always accountable, which we love. Spenmo Racks coming out of the fog. They can't get them. Everybody who was worried, people. Hey, Linz, couple people at plus 120 with Spenny make it out of the wilderness in time. They don't understand. As I passed in the hallway, the lovely Miss Nabood, right where I said it wasn't about tackling the northern wilderness. You've tackled the Rackster. She has tamed the Rackster. The kids were back fine. We're here. A lot to talk about. I thought I'd start with this. You know what? Tony D, first in. Morning. Tigers are a very strange team, right? Tigers again lose last night. I asked Lindsay, hey, the Tigers win? He goes, no, bro, they lost. But I said, you watch? No, bro, I was watching basketball. You're watching Summer League, all dialed in, right?
Absolutely.
You're one of many people, and I'm sure here in the woodwardsports.com chat, which you can join. Also, too, Spenny, what do we want them to do? Go where and do what?
5-star review, all platforms.
Over the platforms. Apple, Spotify, your mom's basement, whatever it is, whatever app that is. Giggity, gig, But I bet you weren't alone, Lindsay, because you said something too, is that you, the expectations, you flipped it on. You're expecting Victor Wembanyama, the first overall pick, the holy grail, so to speak, the next great thing to play. He did not.
No, he didn't play, man, and it was packed. I mean, I'm looking because I watch Summer League every year because you want to see the young guys who got drafted. You want to see them play, and I'm looking in the stands, dude. It was jam packed. So
like
everybody's
more than
normal.
noticeable.
Yes, way more than normal.
And I get that analogy too, traveling across this great country with all the wrestling and seeing different rooms on TV, then seeing them live, but understanding, oh my gosh, there is a ton of people in here, but it is the buzz. It's
a big buzz, man.
And it's the buzz not just about Wembanyama, but all the young talent and stuff like this, I guess. So, you know, you've coached and you've played and stuff like this. What is the realistic expectation? Like, if I turn the TV on as a fan and I want to watch something, what am I looking for? Because it's really not the end game of who wins or loses.
Right.
How do I watch the game if Lindsay Hunter's educating me?
Well, you have to sit back and understand, first of all, that 90% of the guys you see out here won't be playing in the regular season. There will be one or two guys that are playing Summer League that will actually get rotation time. So you're looking at your main guys who they're trying to see how far ahead they are, what they need to catch up on. The speed of the game changes for them, so they're getting used to all those different aspects of it. But you just want to see your guys and how they fit into what you're trying to do. And that's important because a lot of people get lost in it because it's real, it's frantic when you watch the Summer League. It's different. It's a little wild. You know, guys are trying to make teams, and you know what happens when guys are trying to make teams.
Did you say little wild, like maybe outdoor street ball, wild, open up wild, or guys trying to get their own wild?
Yeah, guys trying to get their own because certain guys are out here to prove that I belong. And so when you see situations like that, they tend to try to do a little too much, you know. You'll see guys running over guys, taking charges or running over people, trying to make plays that aren't there, and it just happens, man. And me being on both sides of it, I understand. I've seen guys trying to make teams, and if they think, and unfortunately, people think I have to score to make the team. I have to be able to score, and that's not always the case. But that's what's been ingrained in these kids for so long.
Now, do you watch Like specifically, because anybody who doesn't know what Lindsay does is he's big into the skills and the training and the development and the fundamentals for a lot of these young kids. So you're looking at like some of the handles off of different, like, so say for the Pistons example, how are you watching their developmental game? Is it specifically on different players at different times?
Yes. So with the 2 guards they drafted, and I've already talked to a lot of people about this. I want to see what type of feel they have for the NBA game. I want to see them in different situations. I want to see them run pick and roll to see if they can make the different reads. I want to see them come off down screens to see if they can read what the defense is doing. I want to watch them guard on the ball and off the ball to see if they understand, the simple concepts of the NBA game, because it's a little different than college.
But and different from the elite program.
Totally
can you, I guess maybe that's it, is where people, and I understand, because when you're talking to these analogies of how to watch, a lot of it is right now the Detroit Red Wings have their developmental. Now it's only their guys in the system. It's not everybody in the league. But along the same lines is you're seeing where guys are at, what guys have, but guys aren't going to make the team. They're going to make sure they get an invite to training camp.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. I guess some of the things is explain how long will it take, because to me, the guys that the Pistons drafted are even below the college level. How long does it take somebody to understand? Because it's definitely, it's not just one level jump, it's like 2 or 3, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the thing about it, everybody learns at a different rate. I remember watching Derrick Rose, his first summer league game, and it didn't go great for him. It didn't go terribly bad, but it didn't go great. He was the #1 pick overall. And everybody's like, wow, you watched him in college, take Memphis to the championship game, almost win it, and you knew like he's a phenomenal talent, but then he still had to get used to speed of the game, the way things change in the NBA, compared to college. And then after those first couple of summer league games, you saw him flourish. Like the switch just flipped for him, and it was no looking back. He was the youngest MVP ever. So everybody has a different, learning level and learning time, and some guys get it faster, some guys get it slow. Big guys tend to take a little longer normally. So that's why I'm real curious to see how Victor evolves. But I don't think it'll take him, because he played in the pro league. He's been playing pro since he's 14. And certain things you watch, thinking back on the draft, looking at numbers from guys. Like we watched Kobe Bryant come out of high school. He averaged 37 points in high school. You knew that was an NBA talent. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless.
Looking back at, Darko, and you go back and look at his numbers, he only averaged 9 points in the Euro League he played in. So that was a red flag right there, like 9 points? Well,
with Wembanyama, I think you're the one that brought it up, months ago, is the fact that he's still growing. So isn't it the fact that you want to just see him comfortable in his body? Because the maturity of this guy and ready to play or whatever, talk about the fact that this kid has played professional basketball since he's been 14. Like, that is just other level shit. The only thing I could relate it to is Slava Fetisov and Igor Larionov, the Russians who played in the Olympics and in the 80s and stuff and won, and then came over to the United States after that. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be something there. So I mean, how, you're looking for different things from him, right? And isn't it already to the greatness, like you talking about Kobe coming out, just to see how long it would take him to adjust?
Right.
Isn't it what it is?
It is.
Like with the Giannis's and the best, how long does it take him to adjust? How long did it take Giannis?
Well, see, if people don't understand this, Giannis didn't really play much as a rookie. He didn't play much. I remember seeing him on the bench, and at the end of the game, when the game was over, they put him in, and you saw little flashes, but Giannis wasn't Giannis that we know today when he first got here. Now, Victor, on the other hand, he's more polished than Giannis was at this age. his game is more developed. He's, a lot more skilled than Giannis is even today. So you see things, and even looking at his stats in the league he played, he led the league in scoring, he led the league in rebounding, he led the league in block shots. So it's not like
to me, and listening to you and going by that, is that we're going to experience more of a Shohei Ohtani experience about the international player coming over and dominating a game than we are about somebody who's going to be this guy's almost he's bust proof pretty much.
That's
like he's like you. Am I wrong? Because I'm looking at all the intangibles that would make but, and you and I both know, right? You can have all the skill in the world, you can shoot the lights out of it, 100 for 100, but until you get in that game time and know what it's like, and what do we always say? Well, he hasn't played against men yet, and what's he been doing? He's checking all these lists. How about you two? Spenny, I'll go to you. Are you dialed into the summer league? Is it priority viewing to you?
I mean, I think it's important viewing. Like, I'm not going to be dialed into every game everywhere, but I'll watch the matchups. Like, I'll watch Wemby, his first game he's coming on. He's going to be playing against Brandon Miller, so that would be cool. And then I'm going to watch the Pistons games, obviously, because I want to see the young guys, see how Sir and all of them are looking. But I watched a little bit of it last night, a little bit of Kings Heat, and Keegan Murray dropped 41 points.
Yeah,
he doesn't even he shouldn't be in the summer league. he's not.
No, but there's something to it, Lindsay, isn't it? If you're gonna make me play out there, then I'm gonna show you.
Yes.
Like that's exactly like if you are his teammate or his coach or whatever, when he comes out and you're going, yeah, boy. Yeah,
exactly.
you don't get to choose what it is. You just get that stroke. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's almost like, okay, son, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My point's taken.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
back to the beach. Sam, are you dialed into summer league? Is this must see?
I don't think it's necessarily must see. I'm kind of like Spenny, the Wemby, Brandon Miller.
You're nothing like Spenny, bud.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, and in most ways bad, I would say. But the Pistons every once in a while, I kind of agree that watching Keegan Murray out there, hearing about Keegan Murray out there, he probably shouldn't be out there. He dominated. He is a man amongst boys when it comes to experience, having a couple years in college, and a damn good rookie year. So I'm curious to why he's out there. It's more the marquee matchups and to see guys like Osar Thompson, Marcus Sasser, see how they ingratiate themselves. But the summer league doesn't always translate to NBA success. So, but it's entertaining.
Well, I think it has nothing to do with any NBA success. Lindsay even just said that 90% of these guys, you won't even hear of until the next camp to prove to whatever. Couple things. Last time, if you don't remember, and you can go back into the archives at woodwardsports.com, is Uncle Lindsay gave us some great stories in the past. I mean, who would have known? We knew Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer. Let's say Sam, and is a savage, but we did not know. You can go back and hear the story about, you know what, do not disrespect that man. I couldn't, too bad. We got to get Ben in here. But anyways, my point being is stick around later in the show. Probably the 12:30 hour, I asked Uncle Lindsay if he's got any more stories, and he said he does. So we'll get to that. But first, let me tell you, I don't care what it is, you need things protected, no matter who you are, no matter what it is. Guardian Alarm has customized solutions from real experts. Offer you professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to care, and real people. Yes, flesh and blood. People have been proven to care no matter who you are, no matter if it's personal, no matter if it's business, whatever it is. How do I know? Because they've been protecting Sam Flannel's flannel for how many straight days, Sam?
311.
Oh, I love 311.
I do too, actually. Amber is the
you
color
just
of your
ruined
energy.
311. 311 Sam Flannel does not love you as much as D-Mac does. Anyways, Guardian Alarm, they'll straighten that out. But if you want that protection, please give them a call today. The number 1-800.
Stay out. Get out and stay out of Los Angeles, Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. The Angels should write a book on how to waste the two of the best baseball players of all time's primes.
Damn. Stay out of winning against the A's, I guess, Tigers. You haven't been able to do it in years. I don't understand why, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Guard your alarm. Anything you need, give them a call today. Make sure you tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Cruising on through in the pontoon. I got my boy Lindsay Hunter in for Neil Rule. Yeah, you know him. Couple NBA championships. Detroit Pistons legend. Sam, also speaking of that, Sam Plano, yeah, he's here, whether you like it or not. Spanmo rocks on the ones and twos. Darren McCarty here. Anyways, we were talking basketball, talking about Summer League, what to watch, how everybody's amped up for it, and you can see it by the live crowd and attendance and stuff like that. But I want to focus in, Lindsay, that I got you here, is more too on our team. You know, everything like that. We've talked about pre-draft last time we were together. You know, the big three, and Jalen Darren, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, obviously being healthy, being ready to play. Has the draft changed anything of your perspective or not, or maybe the acquisitions or the signings of different guys? You know, it always gets me, where does this land Killian Hayes and some of the guys that have been here before? What did these draft and free agent acquisitions, trades, blah, 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 mean to you going forward for the Detroit Pistons team?
Well, watching some of the transactions that's happened, you know, we got Joe Harris, of course, Monte Morris, of course, and the 2 draft picks.
So, Joe, which let's start right there. Mm-hmm. You a fan of the deal?
I am.
You are a fan of the deal,
Yes.
And then Troy,
Yes.
because right now I think is not having the luxury, and the Pistons, and I look at them and the Wings are the same, is sometimes maybe you have to pay a little extra or whatever else, but I don't think in this case it seemed like a reasonable deal, market deal.
I like it because you didn't go, you know, over and beyond to reach for a free agent that, you know, maybe a good acquisition, but, you know, I'm not willing to pay, you know, $100 million to a guy that's not averaging 20 points. That's my philosophy. Like, if I'm paying you $100 million, you got to average 20 at least, you know. And so I know the kid from Brooklyn, we were looking at. Everybody was talking about go after him. Brooklyn paid him, of course. And he's a good, you know, he can shoot the ball well. But I like the Joe Harris acquisition. You didn't lose anything. You traded for him. You know, not paying him an absurd salary. And he can shoot the ball, you know. He struggled in the playoffs a little bit, but he can stretch the floor. I like that move.
Here's the question that from me to you that I think people should ask these questions to us. Mm-hmm. Does he make his teammates better? Does he make the guys around him better? Is he that sort of, instead of bringing in, you know, an assassin or a sniper, like somebody to do their role, but that you bringing in somebody that makes this team better? Because I say that because I look, is Troy Weaver doing the same thing as what Steve Yzerman's doing? Mm-hmm. And Steve Yzerman might not be bringing in these top level, going out spending the money, right, because it's not his guy. maybe Troy Weaver the same thing. But when you get a guy that can shoot, that you're going to pay for that points. But my question is Joe Harris make everybody in that room a better? Is it make that locker room better? And if the answer is yes, then to me, there's the relevant win of the deal.
And I absolutely believe he does in both of those aspects, because he's a guy that can space the floor, which is at a premium in the NBA. Now, if you can shoot the basketball and space the floor, then you got, guys like Ivy and that can get downhill that need that space. That's going to make them better. That's going to make them better right away. And it gives them depth. And I don't know if they're going to stay with what we have now, or are there other moves that possibly could be made. But I'm hearing that we're kind of staying with what we got right now, as of right now. Now, if another deal comes about that we can get better, I'm sure Troy will make that move. But as of right now, we got some depth. We've acquired some shooting, and we got guys that can make plays. So if healthy, if whole, and I'm looking at this team, and I told you I think this team should be a borderline playoff team, fighting for that eighth spot, or from 7 to the playing game.
Playing game,
right?
That's the last time we were sitting here talking. As you go, there's no reason why they shouldn't be fighting for the playing game, and it's exactly what I said last year about the Wings. And I look at it, and the question I ask you is this Pistons team better today than they were at the end of the season? Moving forward to next year with the guys they drafted, or the guys they've traded for, or signed, or whatever like that.
Absolutely.
It probably even solidifies more to that you're expecting playing game.
Yes, definitely. And I think, if we stay healthy, and with because we have wings, we have bigs, we have guards, we're stockpiled in every position just about. So you would think that if we can stay healthy, man, we're going to be a young, tough team to deal with.
So with what you know about Monty Williams, right, just by sort of his track record and how he rotates and how he plays guys, how do you see right now, what is the starting five?
That's going to be tough, because
and so like, and I've heard you talk about this before, but why is that tough?
Because I think, and that's a good problem to have. Like, that's not a bad thing.
It's a good thing, right?
Yes, that's a really good thing.
We got guys competing for spots.
Exactly. So I think that's a good thing. But I mean, you're going to start with Cade. You have Ivy. Is Bogey going to be your 3? I mean, is Darren is going to be your 5. Who's going to fill out that 4 position? Is Stu going to be the 4, or is it going to be Wiseman? There are a lot of different ways you can play this. So I like that. That's a great problem to have. And then you're coming off the bench with Monte Morris and Joe Harris, and you got your draft picks. So
there's
it's
a
exciting.
name you bring up, and I see a question that Spenny wrote down in the sheet. Does Monte Morris being brought in by the Pistons mean that this is sort of a signs of the end for Killian Hayes, or do you think that no, it's at the time where it's more of a competition, and a la what the position Philip Zadina is in with the Red Wings, where he'll be going to camp and clear waivers and stuff like this, but it's more of a time to prove it, right?
Definitely.
Are we in that area right now?
Absolutely. And I think for him it could be good for him if he accepts the challenge and does it the right way, because those guys can play together. Monte Morris is a proven commodity in the NBA. He's a borderline starter guy, because he can start for a playoff team, but he's coming off the bench, priceless. Like, he's great for if that's how they choose to use him. But this is going to be a deep team if we stand packed as we are. And philosophy-wise, you can go a lot of different ways. I know Monty's going to have defensively have everything solidified for these guys to excel on that end of the court. And you know what that means. If you can defend and be an elite defensive team, top 10 defensive team in the league, then you can win games.
Well, that's the whole thing, is how are we going to keep the basket out? Your mom's favorite skater asked, Kelly Oubre Jr. is an unrestricted free agent, averaged over 20 points a game. Do you have any interest? Would he make this team better? Or
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. He can score the basketball. For us, I don't think he fits. Just me look on the outside looking in. I don't think he fits what we're doing now. Because we have. We just drafted a guy that fits that mold, So I like him, and I think he'll end up somewhere, but I don't think
we got enough guys.
Yes.
To finish it.
Yes, I think we do.
What's the one thing too, and I don't know if it's the same in the NHL, like systems and stuff like that, but what's the biggest thing for this team, in your opinion, being the defensive stalwart that you were? Is it like what's the first thing to make this team better defensively? Like, do they have the personnel? Do they have the right personnel to get better defensively? And is it just is a commitment and a system that Monty brings to them?
Absolutely. I think they have the personnel. Now it'll come down to them adjusting to Monty's philosophy and structure of how he's going to build his defense. And once those things are solidified, you'll definitely see a way better defensive team than we had last year. Like it'll be night and day, and that'll make a tremendous difference. And I think that when you can defend, and as well as I do, DC, if you can defend, you feel confident about everything else because we're stopping you on this end. Everything else
doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly.
It's along to the same. And I'm sure with a lot of the great shooters, it's like the great shooters, and I always go back to Brendan Shanahan, one of the best scorers, always used to say, dude, your shooting percentage, it doesn't change. So if you're a 10% shooter, that means you've got to get 10 shots on it. So it's, who cares where they're from?
Right.
It's the law of averages. I need 400 shots equals 40 goals.
Right.
That's the mentality of, and I see that, and I relate it to more like a Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Or somebody, it's just give me the volume. Because when I get it, I'm going to get it. Little basketball talk. Obviously, Lindsay thinks that we got the right guys in place, and it'll be something. Let me know if you are dialed into the summer league like these guys are. When we come back, let's get into some football. I know that it's in the summer. I know it might be too early, but Lindsay was the guy that told us Super Bowl.
Let's go.
Okay, so let's dig into the line to see what they got going on, a couple people. But first, if you're hungry and you know it, where we go, Spenny?
You obviously got to go to Big Boy because Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy, and you can try classic breakfast items like some strawberry hotcakes or mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. And don't forget to grab dessert, including their very delicious classic strawberry pie, deep fried vanilla Oreos, or strawberry hot fudge cake, and more at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. Because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Your childhood may be over, playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, services, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, Ellis, Tractor Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit us at OutdoorEquipmentCo.com. Outdoor Equipment Company, your power equipment playground. Welcome back to Make the Energy. Darren McCarty, Lindsay Hunter. Yeah, we got 50 That's championships. Second Sam Flamo. He's here. Anytime we can give him that, we should get Ben in here because then we can really beat him down. Spenmo Racks. Before we get into the Lions talk, breaking Red Wing news. You bring up a name and things happen. Spenmo Racks, I go to you, sir. What do you got?
This is per Frank Cervalli. He says, hearing the Red Wings will place Philip Zadina on unconditional waivers at 12 noon today for purposes of mutual contract termination. Zadina is foregoing the $4.56 million remaining on his deal, seeking a fresh start elsewhere. Huge courage to bet on himself.
Huge courage to bet on himself, coming off of 3 goals and stuff like this. But, I mean, props to him. Respect to him, fresh start. Could have stuck around for the money. We know guys have done that. But,
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't expect him to go out and sign a better deal than that. I expect him to go sign a 1-year, maybe $1.5 million deal or 1.25 deal, sort of what Dominic Kubalik did here last year coming from Chicago, and he's going to go play, prove himself. So, good kid. Hope the best for him. Hopefully he can find all those goals he was talking about when he was drafted. So, for somebody else. So,
And
again,
D-Mac, people don't like I look at stuff like that and people go, man, why would he leave that money on the table? People don't understand how like athletes are wired. People don't.
and competitive, and he's still got time to prove. So when was he drafted? He's only 4 or 5 years into the league, right? So
Yeah.
he's still got 5. He's looking at, I can still make my money.
Right.
It's not at the end of his contract where it's like you're going to hang on.
Right.
Where you understand that, but no, the competitiveness, and you got to understand. And a lot of that tells whether you know him or not. As an athlete, looking across the barriers of sports to other athletes in other sports. When you see that, you have the same respect. That
Right.
You sort of know what the guy's all about. And injuries, just opportunity. That tells me that people are telling him, but he also believes in himself. And this is a guy. I'm a person. Back in 08 when I came, 07, 08 when I came back to the Wings to win the last cup. Was out of the game, but would do it for myself. So I had stuff to prove to me.
Right.
That was it. It wasn't proved to, you put everybody else on top of that, but really it's proven to himself. So when you have that fire to do it yourself, and who knows, it gives him the flexibility to go back over, maybe regroup in the KHL or somewhere in Europe to make good money.
Right.
He's Czechoslovakian. I know that Jaromir Jagr's got a league over there and stuff like this. So it obviously isn't about the money, and and that's why when you talk about athletes, it's only about money. No, everybody's different.
Exactly.
Everybody's different. Any bat, we're gonna have to consult Neil when he comes back, but that's it. Hey, let's talk some football here, guys, because one of the things, and I don't know if you covered this yesterday, Spenny, on Woodward Heavyweights, which you can watch 5 to 7 here, Woodward Sports. However you find it. And this is a good one to bring up to Lindsay, too, being an athlete and stuff like that. Video came out the other night on the fire. We were talking about fireworks and stuff like this, and Jameson Williams was shown lighting off fireworks. To me, it looked like he was a responsible adult in the way that he did it, and nobody was hurt in the crime, but people are a little up in arms. Are they making too big of a deal of it? Were people worried he was going to be, Jameson Pierre-Paul? I mean, I don't. What? Too much? Like Lindsay, people just. Is it the society we're in? This. Hey, could you imagine if we had the social media 20 years ago? In the heyday when we played.
Heck.
Would this be a thing?
I was like, dude, I thank God they didn't have this crap.
Thank God, bro, because you know us. And it's not because me or Lindsay did anything. It's just the guy, the company we kept, and we would just kind of throw it in collateral damage. You know how it goes.
Yeah, thank God, man. But the dude, he wasn't throwing M80s. He wasn't throwing. He was lighting. He was doing what everybody else does. We light the fireworks and we sprint out the way, right? That's what he did. He wasn't throwing anything. So what does everybody got their? Everybody's acting like he was out here having Roman candle wars.
I was in Tennessee on Saturday, and Tommy unfortunately lost to Hoodfoot in the deathmatch championship. But part of the match is I had to get in there and light a door on fire that Hoodfoot was supposed to go through, but unfortunately Tommy went through. But so nobody got mad at me.
I don't know.
I mean, is it because of is it because of the spotlight? Because we're a little bit down on him right now because he's cost us 6 games or whatever.
Dude, I don't know.
Which to me, by the way, with I know rules is rules and stuff, but you see the way that everything's coming out with everybody else, and the fact that he wasn't even at the. I think that, man, the NFL just does something so well and other things just not so well.
Just bass backwards.
So anybody here upset that James?
Apparently Flannel was. The chat saying Flannel was.
All right, well, here.
Flannel, you were upset?
Please, let me know.
No, I wasn't necessarily upset at Jamo. I just find it a little odd that you can't criticize him for anything no matter what, or else you're a hater or you want him gone or anything like that. I just don't know what he has done to become the Teflon man. If you say one thing, it's like, oh my God, you want him out of town.
But he obviously
you think he's a bust.
Teflon man. If people are posting the fact that they're trying to say, look at what this guy's doing, and you know what I mean? Well, how could he be so crazy? You know.
Yeah, what's there to criticize? He was lighting out fireworks on the 4th of July.
I mean, if he blows off a couple fingers, his career is probably over. If you're JPP, you can play with a club on your hand and still be an approximation of what you were. I'm not saying it's likely. It was an anomaly of a moment by JPP. I'm just saying that Jamison Williams has not earned the clout to me to be free of criticism. I mean, he had 1 catch last year. He has as many gambling suspensions as receptions in his career, and that's just a fact.
Well, what does that have to do, right? And that's a fact too. You want to criticize it for on the field, but what is how many people out there in the chat lit a firework? How many people out there were part of fireworks and lit a firework just to know that? So
I'm not like. You criticize who you want to criticize. Everybody's
got their own opinion.
Yeah, everybody has their own opinion, and unfortunately, social media has allowed people who should never let their opinions be voiced have opinions. That's what social media has done. It has allowed certain people.
There should have been a criteria to pass. I had to realize when I'm talking hockey with people,
right?
I gotta ask them first. Do you listen? To what has been said, can you follow the pieces in place? Because then your question you're asking isn't for now; it's for wait till then.
Right.
It's a good question, but you're obviously not paying attention or listening. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I don't want him to get hurt.
D-Mac.
I don't want anybody to be irresponsible. But my question is, how many people out there enjoyed fireworks? And I don't do fireworks. They're not my thing.
Right.
But I mean, if they are your thing, the safety's first, the biggest thing like that. But how many people really enjoyed it? And I see, the kids with the sparklers and stuff like this at a safe distance. Now I've seen some train wrecks. There's always train wrecks, but that comes down to, human beings, doesn't it, more than it does to athletes?
Yes, man. And it just bothers me that, it's certain things, like you said, D-Mac. When I'm talking to people and they say certain things about basketball and I realize they don't know what the hell they're talking about, then I don't talk about it anymore. I just say, oh, okay, cool. Let you have your opinion, and I'm going to, keep my knowledge because obviously you're making me dumber by listening and talking to you. So I don't talk basketball with you.
That's the thing you don't understand is that we got to do it because you're making me dumber and things like that. I just don't understand, other why people act that way.
Nobody said anything about Jack Campbell getting tackled off the back of a boat, while he was jet skiing, or water skiing. You can equally get hurt just as easily doing that.
Worse.
I don't care about either of them. Let the kids have fun. But you can't just nitpick what you're going to talk crap about.
That's just better choices. If you're going to go down, you want to go down getting cross-bodied by a beautiful blonde.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even you taught me that.
That's fair.
I know that then by a firecracker, then by an explosion. So I got to say, as careless as Jack was being, the story was still there. But no, I mean,
let them have fun. I mean, if they get hurt, that's on them.
They're human beings, and if we look at every's, if we look into
I got a
everybody's
story for
closet.
you. Here's a story. That back in the day, right? Back in the day, it's probably 93, 94, and it was out. Let's say like Lake Brighton or whatever, jet skiing. And it just happened. Might have had a couple too many. We were jumping the wakes of the boat, and when I came down, my watch got hooked onto the dash, and I drove my leg into the handlebars, right? Flipped over, whatever, like that. I had a hematoma, the size of a softball. A hematoma is where the blood fills up, and it looked like I had a softball. God bless Dr. Finley, our team doctor. God rest his soul. Right, where I just call him up and go, Doc, I think I gotta come see it. And how many times would you go, right, and me more than not, to the doc's house, and I got two marks there from where he had to drain that hematoma that it wasn't. So like, we all do stupid stuff. You just hope that you don't kill yourself. Just you gotta be as careful as you can be.
I'm sure Flannel has never done anything that he took a chance on that was sketchy.
Well, but these are NFL players.
What does it matter?
There's actually clauses in their contract that says you're not allowed to do certain things. I mean, I don't even think some are allowed to play pickup basketball. I mean, ask Jay Williams. He had his career ruined by a motorcycle.
That was a motorcycle. That's different than pickup basketball.
You have a love
of the game clause. You have a love of the game clause in your contract when you can play basketball anytime you decide to. All right?
I mean, you'd know better than me about that. I'll give you that.
Whoa. Really?
Right?
Yeah, because Lindsay Hunter's a professional athlete.
You know who else would? Ben Wallace would. But anyways, tell me about Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Now that summer's here, it is important to make sure you are properly covered. Whether it's a grad party or just a group of people over to enjoy the lake or pool, your liability exposure increases significantly in summertime. Let the Swiss Insurance Group review your coverage and make sure you are protected from an unexpected loss. Check us out at swissins.com or call Mark today at 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Lindsay Hunter in for the Heel Neil Rule, Spencer Raxter, and the Vibe Assassin, Sam Flannel. I hear whoever said that, I couldn't catch it. But that is awesome. Quit killing the vibe.
It was cocaine.
And what's that?
It was cocaine in the woman's
cocaine.
Yeah.
Vibe Assassin, that's great.
He's over there, the Vibe Assassin. Anyways, we talk a little bit of Lions. I want to get into it. You know, one of the things which is big, and we talk about all the different sports, are the free agents signing, the new guys coming in. To circle back with the Lions, you know, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, right? Like, arguably, to me, I got to thinking is who's the biggest signing or biggest acquisition for the Lions and the improvement of the Lions where they need the most? And I got to thinking, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you know, because we're not hearing, usually we're hearing all the hype about it, right? You're hearing all the hype about this guy, that guy, or whatever. But is he getting enough hype? Or do we believe that he's the guy that really that defense, especially that secondary, is going to pivot around? Am I out of line there?
No, he's not getting the hype. You're right about that. But he's going to have to live up to the hype if we're going to be what everybody expects the Lions secondary to be, which is what right now where they have them top 5, top 6.
I don't know about that, but
I'm just saying, what do they have them preseasonally ranked right now? What do they have them projected?
I think the offensive line was right. I think the defense right. Weren't we getting
what
like
is the
18?
secondary? The secondary is ranked like what?
23rd or something like that.
Jeez.
Little disrespect.
It was pretty disrespectful.
The secondary got disrespected.
23rd?
Yeah.
Oh, got to be better than that.
I can see him being top 10.
You say you'd like to be what?
I can see him being top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they're top 10, that's Super Bowl, right? Oh, come on. I can't get you guys to say it.
Yeah, no.
Well, if they're top 10.
Because if you go by the offense, you believe that they're both top 10.
That's what I'm saying.
Offense and defense.
So, offensively, what is the offensive projected to be? What is our...
Top 5.
So, you got a top 5 offense and a top 10 secondary. That's the making of a Super Bowl team.
Which your secondary arguably isn't the strongest part of your team.
Right. That's right.
Where it is.
That's the making of a Super Bowl.
Johnson, would you say, is the most pivotal part? Would he be the leader of that secondary? Is it like how he goes, everybody else goes, or is there somebody else back there? Because we talk about Kirby Joseph a lot. Because when we talk about interceptions, most of us think Kirby Joseph being the ball hawk leads the way. But it's more by committee.
Committee, yeah.
Spencer, who do you think's more? Who do you think it's more like going into camp, going into everything else that it sort of moves around? Who's more an integral part? Is it C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
Yeah, I think so. I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson is definitely a guy. He brings the hype. He brings the passion, the flair, and stuff like that. And especially in the defensive backfield, you need guys like that. You need guys that are going to chirp, guys that are going to talk shit, guys that are going to go out there. And he was one of the biggest playmakers in the NFL last year in the defensive secondary, and he went out there and he made it to a Super Bowl, and he knows what it feels like to win. He comes from winning organizations in New Orleans and in Philadelphia, so I think him and Cam Sutton are going to be huge for that defensive backfield.
Well, speaking of Cam Sutton, that's where I go to Sam Flannel, because Brandon Katz, the Cat Spot, says Sutton is a far bigger key for Detroit secondary than Gardner. Do you believe that, Sam, or is it?
Well, I mean, Matt Broder also said Cam Sutton. I think it could be either one of them. I think they are both huge signings.
Did you just compare Matt Broder to Brandon Katz?
No, they just both said Cam Sutton.
Broder! Sam just called you cats.
Can we be fair, though, that the Cam Sutton and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think you could argue either one. I mean, Cam Sutton is going to be their number 1 corner this year. He's coming off of the best season of his life. The difference between him and Emmanuel Mosley is the fact that Cam Sutton actually did it for a full season. And as Lindsay, Emmanuel Mosley missed most of the year with injury. Right. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, though, I remember when the Lions signed him, when I thought the Lions had no chance. That was kind of the move where all of us jumped up in celebration and said Brad Holmes has completely revamped that secondary. And I think the combination of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kirby Joseph could easily combine for 10 interceptions. I think they're just both huge signings. I think it just kind of depends on what you want. Do you want more playmakers, or do you want someone who can help shut down half the field more? It's just whatever flavor you want. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
Do you think they'll be top 10?
God. They don't have, to me, that high-end superstar, but they have a lot of depth. They have like 6 or 7 legitimate NFL starters. So I think there's a chance. Maybe the low end of the top 10 in terms of secondaries when it's all said and done.
Okay. Now, will that make their defense a top 10 defense overall?
See, that's tough, because there's still questions about their linebacking core. There's still some questions about their interior defensive line, although I think Aleem McNeil will take a huge jump. I'd say top half of the NFL. I don't know about top 10, but I don't think they're going to have to be top 10 in order for them to be successful as a team.
I'm talking about Super Bowl success. I'm not talking about being successful, just winning. I'm talking about Super Bowl success. I'm more programmed to think Super Bowl than think, we're just going to have a winning season. And I think that's what the Lions fans have to start conditioning themselves to think. Like, you have to think Super Bowl. Like,
working it. I love it. You're on it. He's just committed to it.
If you just keep conditioning yourself to think winning season, then you'll be satisfied for the rest of your life with just a winning season. If you start conditioning yourself to say, what do we have to do?
This is Detroit. We don't have winning seasons. We're just trying to get to a winning season.
See,
no,
D-Mac.
I know you
can't do that.
I'm talking like everybody else, but you're putting the writing on the wall. I think it's just because it's so unfathomable to be able to do it in one season, right? I think it's like we're looking at these next couple as a fan is what's sort of accepted. Yeah, we'd love to get there, but is that realistic? But no, it's if they still win the first game, they come out and different things. I want to know. Jeb said it in the chat thread. Are we forgetting the addition on the secondary, Tracy Walker coming back? Mm-hmm. Right? And I know Tracy Walker and Brandon Katz said C.J. Gardner-Johnson played 1 year safety with Philly. Yeah, but look at what you're talking about. You're talking about Cam Sutton. You're talking about Emmanuel Mosley. You're talking about, Kirby Joseph. You're talking about a defense like it's starting to drop names that could be a unit itself. And I think you've all brought up a great point that it's about there's this defense that could have 10 interceptions, but it's not going to be one guy having 9 and another one 1. It's by committee. So I asked you guys, is the secondary the biggest position group? And we'll start on defense. That leads the way, right? That leads the way because of where we're coming from. We couldn't stop anybody on third down. There's 2 things that we couldn't stop. The run or the secondary? What's more important? Is it the secondary or is it, as Sam brought up, the Aleem McNeils, the defensive lines, the plug in the holes, the gaps? Is it the sacks? Is it the linebacking core? Are we most unbelievable? I tend to believe that the secondary, as we saw, might be the stalwart and the backbone and sort of the grind line-ish of this team that what you can get. Do you see it playing out that way?
Rightfully so, it could be. If these guys live up to expectations and be the playmakers that they have been in the past, then your secondary will start to be a strong point. Now, if you can cover guys, if you can make that quarterback hold that ball for a second or 2 longer, now you got those edge rushers coming off really wreaking havoc. And now your defense is starting to play like a Super Bowl-esque defense. See, I'm a Super Bowl guy. I don't know. I've just been conditioned. I'm just conditioned to think about the top. I'm not used to people saying, oh man, we're just going to try to win a playoff game. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but what is your ultimate goal? Like to win the Super Bowl? Like why not think, like how can you go into a season, even if you're a bad team, you go into the season like, how can we get to the Super Bowl? Like how can we be the last team standing? Like how can we get there? That's more of my mindset. And I don't know. Like somebody in the chat was saying, Lindsay, you don't understand. We've been losing for so many. Well, how about changing your mindset? If you've been losing for so many years and you've continually thought about being mediocre, how about thinking about being great for a change?
And here's the whole thing, but it doesn't matter what thinking about being great, right? The greatness has to start in Allen Park.
Exactly.
And the fact that the greatness has started.
There you go.
But what you're trying to say is, guys, it's okay.
Yeah.
Get on the boat. Go for it because it has changed.
Right.
Well, everything before is always hope, pray, something would go on. How many times over so many years do we, 3 Mile Island, how many times you heard that? Where the front office, the coaching staff, the players, they're all communicate differently. It's not the same way now. So now's the time if you're going to be that way. But you need to believe in your organization.
Someone in the chat also said, Linz, we just want people to stop making jokes about us being a real roster. I do. Spinmo, can you help me? What's the deal? Like, are you guys traumatized this much?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. You can't even understand that.
Listen, you're a 49ers fan, so you don't even have the. But I know you have the ebb and flow, but you have greatness. You're like being a 49ers fan is like being a Red Wing fan, right? Like you have greatness flowing through your veins. It's just recapturing that. The Lions, we don't with the Lions. We all don't with the Lions, and we can't.
Well, no one
transfer
it. So after the bad boy Pistons won back-to-back.
Bad boys.
And then we had a downtrodden in time with the Pistons. We had the Teal era, which sucked. We got back to.
I love the Teal though.
I like the Teals.
Yeah, the era sucked though.
The era sucked.
So when the resurgence happened, nobody really thought the going to work Pistons were going to be what they were. Nobody thought that a bunch of cast-off misfits were gonna bring our city back to prominence, right? Nobody really thought that, but we did.
Yeah, I know. And the thing for me is, in my lifetime, I've seen the Pistons do it. I've been to a parade for the Pistons. In my lifetime, I've seen the Red Wings do it a couple times. I've been to a couple parades for the Red Wings, but like, I haven't seen the Lions win a damn playoff game in my lifetime, so I can't say Super Bowl.
It's okay. You were last year when they were going on that run and they were winning games.
Yeah,
you were geeked.
I felt like they could beat anybody.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Listen,
that is all you need. You think they can beat anybody? So if I'm thinking my team can beat anybody, guess what else I'm thinking? We could get to the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not them?
When your greatest argument for this, and you'll have everybody on board, and we talked about this yesterday, is if they beat Kansas City week 1, then there's no reason not to think Super Bowl.
D-Mac, I don't care if they don't beat Kansas City.
I know you don't, but
because Kansas City's a different level.
More people buying tickets to your boat ride. Okay, that's one thing that will be. For sure. Just like you got to get the work in, you got to put them up, you got to pick them up, put them down. I mean, you even know Neil, he even told you on his drive to the Jersey Shore, he will pull over at the rest stop, run around a couple times before he does his business, catch up his car and go.
Yeah.
Because fitness is essential, right, Spenny?
Fitness is essential, always at Planet Fitness. I had to take a couple days off because of the trip, but I'm back in there. Was back in there yesterday. I'm going to be back there today because Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. And the gym that has always been known for being clean is cleaner than ever. You can get a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in a 30-minute circuit. Your fitness is essential, and fitness is a key part to physical and mental wellness, which is why we have invited teens between the ages of 14 to 19 to work out for free all summer long with our high school summer class program. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or go to planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in the metro of Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness. Getting swole with Spenny, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Welcome back, Big NB, Energy, Darren McCarty, Lindsay, Hunter, and Sam Spenmo Rax, cruising along on this Thirsty Thursday. Neil will be back next week sometime on vacation. Safe travels, my friend. Anyways, we were talking Detroit Lions, what ifs, and imagine, and Lindsay, he's been full force, hasn't wavered from it. He says, Super Bowl, baby, let's go Super Bowl. So let's indulge Lindsay. And you know what? He's not wrong. He knows what it takes. He's talking about mentality, and you go to camp, and why don't you think that your team should win and compete? So Lindsay, I ask you this, bud. If, right, we take that tack, and everybody's taking that tack, Super Bowl, we're going to win the Super Bowl, absolutely going to be there. Who either has to take the biggest step forward or is the biggest impactful reason for the Detroit Lions being in the Super Bowl next year?
Man, who? Oh man, I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be one individual. I think it'll be the group. I think if the defensive line can fire up and just wreak havoc and just destroy quarterbacks.
So
destroy
when you
quarterbacks.
so let's say that like when you bring up defensive line, right? The two inefficiencies on defense last year was not being able to stop somebody on third down,
Right.
and obviously letting everybody run rampant through
Right.
wherever
Right.
they wanted. So in saying that, is it more important, do you think, that they, because we know that they can get pressure. We know
Right.
that they got guys in the James Houstons, the Aiden Hutchinsons,
Right.
and we think they're only going to get better as they figure out how to go. But is it more relevant that for them to be the Super Bowl team is that no team can run on them? Like no team can like we see a absolute significant difference in that run defense, more so than the sacks.
Yeah, I think it has to be. I don't think you have to be just a totally shut the run down. I just think you bend but don't break in the run. Like you can't allow a team to rush for
300 yards and a half.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like I mean, hell, that's like nobody out there. You know, so
Well, it's an NFL record, right?
right. So if you can, get better run defensively and secondary get better. And our offense is generating points, and I think they'll be great, man. I bought into the Lions because I watched them last year, and everybody was doing all this talking, and I'm always gonna be I'm gonna always talk shit to the Lions fans because I like to see them crumble because they crumble so easy, but I'm still gonna support them. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Called a bully. Lindsay, that's called a bully.
That's just the a-hole side of me because I like to cause a little controversy. It's fun. It's fun to do. But at the end of the day, I've been here my whole career and I love the Lions, and I want them to do well.
You honestly, when you say that, because when I say there's San Francisco's your football team, whatever like that, but when you say these things, you don't say them, out the side of your mouth. You don't say it like joke. You say like, you see the same things that we're seeing, right. So go ahead and dive in. Eat the whole cake. Dude. Don't take it. Just don't nip the icing.
Right. And I honestly, when I talk to other Lions fans, and I'm like, dude, y'all gonna win the Super Bowl? And they get shy. Well, because I'm like, hey, let's bet, make a bet on the Super Bowl. Everybody gets scared, back out of it, like tuck their tails and run, dude. Make the bet. I'm betting. I'll bet.
Yeah, but you're betting the 49ers, which is like a top 5 team every year.
Well, I'll bet Lions too.
Oh, you'll bet Lions?
Yeah.
What if it's Lions 49ers in the NFC Championship game?
It's a win-win for me, baby. It's a win-win for me.
So here's the way. So the thing that I'm hearing, I'm understanding, and I may ask you this, Benny, too, though, is that like it's not. We all expect the offense to be the offense.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The same, maybe better. And we've all said on here is that, okay, maybe Jared Goff, throws a couple more picks, maybe not as many yards, but you still expect him to be as efficient. So
yeah.
Is it wrong, Spenny, that all eyes to get to the Super Bowl is on this defense?
A little bit, yeah. You see the defense let him down a little, but it's also on Jared Goff too. Like,
so you think so? To answer the initial question, you think it's more if it's on Jared Goff? It's Jared Goff. So the question I asked Lindsay, if they're going to the Super Bowl, what's the narrative? Is it because Goff got them there?
Yeah. That's how it works in this league.
Yeah, in the NFL, it as well as I do.
That's their narrative. But what I'm asking is his numbers aren't going to be astronomical to what they are last year. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is the astronomical difference should be on the yards not allowed, right? Rushing, the bend but no break, and the third down efficiency, and the interceptions. So what I'm saying is when you see this team as a Super Bowl team, it's not the offensive numbers, right? Because we've seen what they can prove. It's defensively, and not so much sacks because we all expect them to be sacks. It's preventing the runs and getting off the field.
Right.
Is that more so? So it's not on Goff enough. It's on Goff to be
what Goff has been.
To be Detroit Goff.
Right.
Is that fair enough to say? To be Ben Johnson's Goff. Right? We were saying, what do you think, Sam? Is that where, if the Lions are Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl, right, the biggest difference isn't the fact that David Montgomery came in and ran for 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, or Gibbs or whatever. It's the fact that all the stats, you're a stats guy, it'll be defensive team numbers?
I mean, that's the reality of last season. I know we looked at the defense and how they played much better down the stretch and in the stretch where they went 8-2. But when you look at the whole of the season, the Detroit Lions had a top 5 scoring offense and a bottom 5 scoring defense. So when you look at the season, not just in bits and pieces, the full season, the defense let the offense down. The Detroit Lions were the only team in the top 10 of scoring offenses to not make the playoffs. So by that definition, it has to be the defense that takes a huge leap forward, which I believe they undoubtedly will, particularly with the entire revamping of the secondary that Brad Holmes did. I think the defense will be vastly improved, and I think the offense will be somewhere in the top 10 still. And I think their ceiling is like 2 or 3, honestly.
See, Lindsay, I'm with you. I'm with you as far as let's cheer Super Bowl, but you have to understand the why. Why would we cheer Super Bowl? Or how can we get there? So the reality is,
there is a path. We just talked about the path.
Right? There is a path, and the improvement of everything else, and comparative to last year. But instead of watching and all the people, and I saw GW Kid, yes, no, it's not on Goff. It's on Goff to be Detroit Ben Johnson, Jared Goff.
Right.
We agree with that. That's what he's got to be. But really, to Sam's stats, to where the big improvement, it's the defense as a whole. However they do it, right? So I don't have to see Aiden Hutchinson with this and that, and I have to see, allowed rushes, allowed whatever, third down efficiency.
Right.
If you see that, that's the pathway that's the pathway to the Super Bowl.
Right. Here, Kyle Stark has said, absolutely hate that take by Hunter. Makes me cringe every damn time. No logic behind it. Well,
I just put a little logic.
Kyle Stark,
to get there.
You're a typical Lions fan, and you're going to sit there in misery for the rest of your life because you're not going to believe that you guys have any pathway to get to the Super Bowl. So, hey, God bless you. I hope you're miserable for the rest of your football cheering life.
Lindsay, you're on fire today, bro, for real.
Wait till I sick him on you. Wait till I give Uncle Sam.
Like I don't get it. Think about when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Remember when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. Who the hell thought that was gonna happen?
Nobody.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow got sacked 8 times by the Titans in a playoff game, and they won. It was like,
who thought the Bengals were? Because I know when the season started, I didn't hear not one damn person say, "Oh, I got the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl." I didn't hear nobody say that. They got there.
Yeah.
So why the hell can't the Lions do that?
No, you're right.
The Bengals have sucked since the 49ers spanked them in the Super Bowl.
They play in the AFC.
which is even tougher. So, I'm not still. I still can't say it.
Wrap up this segment too, right? The writing's on the wall. The way the Vegas is talking about, the way that now's the time to win the North, to get the home playoff game, right? The fact is you could have your narrative and control your own narrative, right? To get there and figure out to do that. I just are we in agreement though that if you're gonna eyeball something, it's eyeball those defensive team stats. Absolutely. More so the rate. Amon-Ra St. Brown's got to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. What do I mean that? Perennial Pro Bowl guy. He's got to be your guy. What more teams now, what are they going to do? They're going to game plan against him, more and more and more. So that means that your Josh Reynolds, your Khalif Raymonds, whoever your backup, your Sam Laporta. I have him to lead your team in touchdowns and stuff like this, but it's finding the effectiveness, right? I think we can all agree. Like even Spenny, Goff, 10 or less interceptions, correct?
I think it would be right around 10. Yeah.
Right, but we're not saying...
He's not going to jump to 15 or anything like that.
And I think a couple years ago, you had the over 15.
Yeah.
No confidence in this guy. Mm-hmm. So There is a pathway there. Don't yell at Lindsay and get mad because he's just got winners mentality. You know who's else has got winners mentality? Randy Wise.
Of course.
And golf.
Yes, and what could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon Edwards, our very own Darren McCarty, play golf?
Maybe watching Ben Wallace smack you on the side of the head. But go ahead.
That could very well happen someday. Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity, that's what. Stop in any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak after. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Make the wise decision and get to Randy Wise today for your chance to win.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Big D Energy cruising along here on a Thursday. Darren McCarty, Lindsay Hunter. Come on, ride the train over a high train. Come on, ride over a high train. Get it in, 62% of you said yes, Super Bowl.
See what I'm saying? There we go.
See, but you notice that people aren't going to orate. They're just going to slowly, like it's a sort of like this sort of, I'm going to write in, but I think you're getting to everybody, bud. Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel. Oh, stick around. A couple more segments. We're going to go into Uncle Lindsay's brain. I got questions. The last time he told us about Ben Wallace almost ending the man's career, sitting on his car hood after a game. When a man does not shower and gets straight into his cities, you know it's popping. Anyways, sticking on this playoff or the Super Bowl talk or whatever like this, I want to get your take on the Red Wings and what Steve Yzerman's doing and stuff like that. And obviously, to preface the fact that you've, lived here your whole life, career, stuff that we've done, being around, you're a hockey fan too. Now, it would be a little bit out of character and, not true to what I've preached or whatever, to be like, hey, Stanley Cup next year, come on, Wings, come on, because it's a different building experience, and a different window what we're in. But to the fact that everybody knows that I used to have a clock, took the clock down, right? Because it's playoff time next year. Now that hasn't changed. Now I've looked at it that this team is more of built for the playoffs and more of an expectations to get into the playoffs, just like we talked about at the beginning of the show about the Detroit Pistons into the play-in games.
Right.
Expectations have sort of changed. Like when you look at this Detroit Red Wings team, and maybe Steve Yzerman, he hasn't given people what they want in that big name or spent that money, but he's made this team better. What say you about this team being a playoff team next year?
And that's exactly, just listening to you talk about him, D-Mac, is and you had them, like you said, you had them on the clock. And now it's time. It's time for them to make the step to the playoffs, right? And watching them draft, they drafted defensively, right? They made a lot of moves to get better defensively. That's always, to me, I watch teams, I watch sports, and I watch cross sports, and I watch how teams do certain things. And you can tell what a GM is formulating or what his mindset is by how they draft a lot of times. And I was always taught in the NBA, I've heard guys from the beginning, hey, you draft offense. You draft offense. You draft guys that can score. You draft, you draft talent. But then you start watching, and when teams start to become, hey, we're a playoff team.
What do they miss?
Yes. Now we're drafting for, hey, no, we need this. We need a defensive stopper. We need somebody that can guard multiple positions.
But it's more important to plug now in today's game, and it is the NBA the same way because it's evolved.
Yes.
It's not the same as when we played. You don't build your team the same. Now it's you plug all the holes, and now I'm going to drop in, there's your star.
Yep.
Right before you had to build around it. But here's the two things that are so much similar, and you brought it up when we talked basketball earlier and what Steve Eisman has gone and done. He came out and said, I believe that if we take care of keeping the puck out of our net, that will increase us putting the puck in the other net. Didn't you just say something like that as far as with Monty Williams?
Absolutely.
And the system that he will implement will make it better for the guys going the other way and baskets and transition and stuff like this that we're talking about. That what Joe Harris brings, what Jay Ivey, running the court. So there's a lot of analogies between the building of the Pistons and the building of the Wings where they have to get better than that. How about to the fact, and I think it's the championship mentality is trying to get everybody to understand, is just because you have the money doesn't mean you have to spend the money.
You go.
And how about if you've been in this position too, is that your subtle flexes, you know what, I'm willing to give the guys that I've chosen an opportunity before anybody else that's been out there that I've had an opportunity, because you got to remember, don't be aloof to the fact that guys are free agents or restricted free agents. There might have been an opportunity to draft them the time before or to know about them or the meetings and all this. There's so much that goes into it.
Right.
And stuff like that. But to me, it's sort of, I look at Steve Eisman going, well, I'm going to see what I have first.
Yes. Which makes sense. That's the logical way to approach it, right? If I got a guy, I believe the guy that I have, that I drafted, that I chose, I'm thinking how he fits into what I want to do, and I want to see if he's going to grow into what we foresee him being, right? That's the plan. And if my guys grow into what we foresee them being, then we'll be fine. Then we'll have to add something else, whatever else we need to add. Not just, hey, we got money, we're going to go after this free agent and we're going to grab this guy. It's all calculated, and most GMs, they have a plan. And that plan, depending on how everything falls, the plan may change a little according to, maybe this guy developed into a better player than we thought he would be. So we don't need to touch that area.
Which also happens a lot too to different guys and how to bring teams. So do you look at the, in the same way? And I read, which blows me away is some people believe that the Red Wings, they'd have more faith in winning the cup next year than the Lions, and I don't see it that way because I don't see that they're along the way.
That's the mentality that we're trying to spin, Bo. You see this mentality? That's what we're trying to get rid of, man.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of that. They think the Red Wings have a better chance to win the cup than the Lions do of getting to the Super Bowl? Are you serious? That's where they are?
I saw whether they would be a facetious or not. I do not believe that they were. But and here's another thing, because and even coming in today, I was asked, what's going on with the Alex DeBrincat, which it's one of those things that more times than not, when something hasn't been done,
right,
and you still hear that you're in the calling for it, is that Steve Eisman, I'm sure, has made this, now just said that this is what I'm willing to offer.
Right.
If you're willing to take it, then come back to me. It's not the end all or be all.
Right.
Because, talk about that, Lindsay, as far as, sometimes the fans or something, or maybe even us as players have more of a love or something than what the general manager does. And but there's something that he's looking for. I don't know if Joe was that way or whatever, but like this specific thing. But with Steve Eisman as general manager, you have to have this wing mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be able to play for the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because every GM has that thing that you're talking about. They have a certain thing they look for in players. That do they have our mentality? Do they have the Pistons mentality? Do they have that? And they find out fast if a guy has it or not. They know if because You can put a guy,
but you immediately, once you throw that guy in the locker room or around the guys into the fodder, you know exactly, if it's gonna fit, if he's gonna eat, or if usually what happens, you throw him in and then he goes this way, like you know what I'm saying, or he's over this way,
right?
He's gonna hang and talk to, he's quiet like Tayshaun, or be more that way, or he's gonna come over like to where D-Mac and Sheet are hanging out, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be more of the party,
right,
and stuff like that. But it goes to as the teams get better, to the character. We see that, right? Because we preached that with Dan Campbell. And what is this Lions team? What do we say? It's a mirror of their coach,
right?
Their coach. So as long as we're seeing that with our teams, then we can move forward. But right now, like, do you feel the same way as I do as far as the Red Wings being a playoff team? You expect the playoffs for them just like you expect the Pistons to have to play in game,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Hey, look, they're both teams that are building, right? And we know, we've watched them the past couple of years, and now we're starting to see, hey, it's time for us to start taking steps to being a playoff team, and to being a team that climbs its way from the bottom back to where they're supposed to be. And all of our teams are at stages. All of our teams are, and I see the Pistons and the Red Wings kind of at the same stage. The Lions should be ahead. From what I saw last season, from the things that are happening now, my expectations are totally different for the Lions.
Let's go.
Yeah, but totally different from the Lions than all the other teams here.
And it's because it's that NFL window too, right? You have that. We're right in the middle of that window. So a lot of it too is we see it all the time. We've always said, why can't that be us? Why can't we flip flop like Cincinnati and everything? You're telling us as Lions fans right now, you are Cincinnati 2 years ago going to the Super Bowl. So get on board right now. Drop your dollars, and it doesn't have to make sense.
No, it never does.
Let's keep it.
Spinmo just gave us a great analogy, and I know someone in the chat was like, well, the Bengals had a great defense. I'm sure they had a what? Flannel, what was the Bengals defense back then? Were they top 10?
The Bengals defense was 17.4
Is that really how I sound? I don't think I sound quite like that. I don't have the most bass in my voice, but I don't think I sound quite like that.
In my fucking head it is.
Well, that's
out of my head sometimes when you annoy me.
I'm sure you're not alone on that. I know that they had some defensive talent. I don't know if it was necessarily elite, but my thing is that Joe Burrow on a rookie contract, future Hall of Famer, second best quarterback in the league, Jared Goff being paid $30 million a year. I think that's a little bit of a difference. I think that's the main issue when it comes to the Bengals versus the Lions.
Yeah, that is a difference, but it's not like, he's breaking the bank. $30 million is still kind of a bargain in this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So he's not breaking the bank, and we still have pieces around him. It's not like we had to pay him like one of these superstar quarterbacks that's getting $50 million a year, and you don't have
money
room
for other players.
Right. So that's that argument. That's a fail.
That's a flannel argument.
That's a flannel fail.
According to you.
A flannel fail. That's what that is.
Flannel fail. Brr, brr. Cat Spot, remove that one from the show script, please. Anyways, you know what? When we come back, I think it's time. We got to dig into the mind of Uncle Lindsay Hunter. Only way we can. Now, I've asked him a couple questions, so he's been thinking, and I do not know the answer. So I'm just as excited as everybody else. But first, let's hear from SMA.
SMA, or the Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. So if you or someone you know is struggling, make sure you head to thesportsma.com to get the help you deserve.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The 3 Ps. What are the 3 Ps? Practice, play, a party at 5 Iron Golf coming this July to Detroit, located inside the Cambria Hotel. Detroit's newest sports bar has 13 TrackMan simulators, some of the best in the business, certified instructors, and a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit, and visit 5irongolf.com to tee up good times. It is 5irongolf.com. We will see you there soon. Big D energy here on a Thursday. Oh, the time I've been waiting for all day. We cracked something. I think we found something new when Lindsay Hunter is here every time. Now, you know, we have story time with Uncle Terry. You know, I can't wait for those Black Santa stories and all the Christmas and education that he gives us. But we learned a little bit something inside the locker room behind the scenes, and it's last story by Uncle Lindsay did not have Sam Flannel fearing in his takes of what a savage Ben Wallace is. And Ben Wallace won't just hit Sam Flannel, I would say, if he has anything to do with them. He'll just rip his head off his body. So it'll be pure carnage. I think Ben's a much nicer guy, a little bit more docile in his veteran age. But needless to say, we got the stories. And you can go back where? WoodwardSports.com, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you find Woodward Sports, and do what? Spend Mo?
5-star review.
5-star review. 5-star review. All right, Lindsay, today in Uncle Lindsay's story bag of former teammates. What former teammates are we going to talk about? What story do you have?
Well, there's always a common denominator with the Pistons back in the heyday. Ben Wallace and Rasheed have always been like core story guys because they always did the most.
So they deservedly so, correct?
Yes.
Sort of like D-Mac. Why do you have all the stories of D-Mac? Because yes, he was there. And yes, he wasn't twins. He did the good stuff and the bad stuff. Same guy.
Well, this story has a little. She always has something to do with it because he's just
she.
It's she, right? And Mike James.
Mike James.
Mike Jizzle, my guy.
So Mike James, who people don't remember, big part of, and talking about core and talking about like work ethic and one of those like go to work Pistons, like
right.
like just a flat out, he's a grind liner, right?
Yeah, that's my dude, Mike Jizzle. Well, we had a tough practice. This was the championship year too. We had a tough practice. Like, you know, we used to go at it in practice. Practice was like wars.
Oh, a tough practice because the boys were hammering down on each other.
Right, and we did that every practice. So, Sheed and I would stay out and shoot and mess around, talk, mess with people. And so, this particular day, I think Mike had went to the showers early. And there was another guy on our team. He was like, he never played, but I forgot his name, man. This is so funny. So guys would do stupid stuff. Like, you get into it with people and you do stupid stuff. So this guy decided, I think Sheed gassed him up to throw a bucket of ice on Mike while he was in the shower. And Mike is a fiery guy. Like, Mike will fight.
Yeah, you know. Like, he reminds me of Marty LaPointe, right? Like, we called him the Bulldog. It's like he can take a joke and stuff like this, but you know what? You got to get him in
the right situation, the right mindset, and it has to be the right person. Like, everybody can joke with Mike. You know, like I could joke with him, she could joke, he'd take, but anybody, hey, you can't joke. So this dude, she gassed him up. He gets a bucket of ice and throws.
Gassed him up means he's like prodded. Come on, bro. Come on. You got hype, man.
Do it.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it, bro. You know what'd be funny?
He throws the bucket of ice on Mike. Mike goes demon time.
Wait. Demon time is like, is that worse than Ben walking out of the room? Demon time is worse than Ben almost killing
because
guys.
Mike is ass naked, and he runs out.
Demon time, ass naked.
He runs out the shower and attacks the dude, ass naked.
So tackle the dude,
ass naked.
I'll tackle him ass
fighting,
naked. Fighting him ass naked.
Dude,
was the guy fighting back?
He was running. He was trying to get away. You imagine an ass naked man running at you?
But is this just in the locker room, or did it lead out into the?
Dude, it came out into the hall.
It came out to the hallway. So there's Mike James running out ass naked, demon on fire like bloody Satan.
Tries to tackle him, falls all over the place, sprawls out, ass naked on the floor. My man runs out, escapes the back where the cars were. Dude, we are in stitches. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, dude, are you serious? This dude ran out ass naked trying to fight somebody, and he did, bro. And we witnessed it. Like,
so by the end of it, how many of you witnessed? Like, how many?
Everybody's sitting there like, are you Mike?
20 people?
And Mike's walking back pissed, like, I'm gonna kill him when I find him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, go put some clothes on first. Dude, Mike is nuts, man. Mike James is one of the craziest people
did
anybody
since that point ever like mess like anybody ever?
We did.
You did, but it was on the regular.
No, nobody ever messed with him after that because we knew he was slightly touched. Like nobody would. Dude, I'm not running out the shower. I don't care what you throw.
Slightly.
No, I'm not running out the shower.
I'm gonna put it in the bank and I'm gonna get you.
Exactly.
I know you got to get on the team buses sometime. Exactly. Maybe on the plane. I gotta walk by you. I sit at the back.
I got opportunities to get you. Mike is not that type of guy. He's coming right away. No clothes on.
Obviously, you want. Spenny, you ever been that mad?
Yeah, I think so.
Butt naked.
Yeah.
Butt naked. Mad. Don't give it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Can you imagine the grizzly just chasing me?
Spinbo, you fight somebody with no clothes on?
Yeah, I chased this kid down after football practice when I was naked because he was talking shit. So
you just like
I chased him down. Yeah, I put my foot on his neck and had my towel.
As you're standing over him. Fucking, he's just happy to get friggin' stopped with towels instead of teabag.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, motherfucker. Nice.
Yeah, I got him a couple times.
So that never happened. So did.
Oh, God.
See, I feel like the outcome, the result of the outcome of nobody talking crap after that, or did that? Because if that's in high school, then
nobody wants to get teabagged. Of course, they didn't talk trash to him.
But Spenny did next level. Because there's one thing being a man and whatever, who gives a shit. But being in high school or whatever, not giving a shit, that's a whole different level.
I was kind of a piece of shit my junior and senior because I was on varsity for 3 years. I was on varsity swimming for 4 years, so I used to get the shit kicked out of me, when I was a freshman and a sophomore. So I was like, all right, it's time for me, I get to get on this now. And so, yeah, I was...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
How about you, Sam? You ever been that bad?
No.
The only time I really get that mad is after big sporting events
listening to your own takes.
No, absolutely not. Is big sporting events that don't go my way. I was definitely that mad, or more just shooketh after trouble with the snap. You can definitely understand that, Spenny. That was probably one of the best days of your life.
I was there.
Well, congratulations,
Spenny.
He said congratulations.
I was in the corner of the end zone where he returned the touchdown. It was awesome.
I was outside. I was tailgate when that went down.
That was great.
Well, but
I wish I would have known you then, Sam.
Sam, did you play any sports?
I played a couple years of football in high school, but I'm not very athletic.
We know that, Sam. I'm just asking, did you play? We know you're not athletic, but did you play?
Stick the non-athletic kid in high school.
Believe it or not, I mainly played O-line and D-line.
That's where they always put the non-athletic kids.
That's true. I mean, I lost a little bit of my baby fat since then. I was a very...
What position you play?
Yeah.
O-line, D-line.
I had a friend. His sons were not athletic. He was like, man, I need to toughen them. I was like, yeah, let them play a little football when they're younger. Not as bad, not brutal. And he was like, well, what position you think they're going to put him at? I said, I don't know. Just take him to practice and see. Man, they had his kids, man. And one kid was really small. They had him at nose guard.
Yeah.
He was getting murdered.
Oh yeah, that was always fun. That was always fun when you bring out the scout kids and they're like 120 pounds, and I'm just picking them up and throwing.
Spenny, you're lucky you didn't have to get any of this smoke. I'm totally kidding, by the way.
No, but that was actually funny, Sam.
Sam, I can imagine you with your helmet twisted.
Oh, I mean, I know the game like the back of my hand, to be fair.
Mom, my glasses. Mom.
Hey, pants too big, they're twisted to the side. I can imagine.
If you want to know like a random Sam playing football story,
There goes
I
play
got
up in the touch.
Let me hear this, Sam. Let's hear this.
All right, so oddly enough, on one practice, we were practicing onside kick return, and that day I had the best practice of my life. I was recovering kicks, and for the rest of my time on football, I was on the kickoff return team.
You were the guy.
I was that guy who
The
was
hands guy.
The hands guy, yes.
I hated kickoff return. I hated kickoff return was the worst because I was in the front line, and so it's either I'm diving on the onside kick or you run back 5 yards, turn around, and wait for people that are just sprinting it. I love kickoff. Kickoff was one of my favorite things.
Kickoff's amazing.
Blowing people up.
The
left
wedge
and right.
breakers. They call them the wedge breakers.
Oh, yeah.
The wedge busters. Hey, Rip Hamilton played football.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what was he, a wideout?
A nose guard.
No.
Yeah, he sucked. They put him on the line. He sucked.
I'd love to hear Rip tell that story.
He swear out he was good. And I knew you were on the line. You sucked. If you were and you're skinny, so we know you sucked.
Dude, Rip Hamilton, slot receiver, button route, that little roundabout doing his little pick and roll?
No, not him.
Not him?
No.
No hands?
No, he might have had hands, but when he was young, he wasn't. He
Oh,
sucked.
not when he was young. He wasn't even fit, even to the frame. All right, so good stories. Anyways, do not throw ice on Mike James. Remember that. That's what we learned. And we learned that in some universe, right, there is an Oklahoma drill between Spenny and Flannel Sam going on.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right? Wouldn't you? I would have loved to seen it back then, too.
Yes.
Right, the high school. Are you guys? Did you guys graduate? Are you guys the same age?
No, I'm a few years older.
Well, you know what? You probably would have been held back. So there you go. We could have held you back. At least you should have been held back, Sam. But thank goodness you made it here. Anyways, get your questions in. We'll have some fun for the next couple segments. Ask Lindsay, ask D-Mac. Hey, even ask Flannel or ask Spenny. We'll do that here on a Thursday. But first, how would you like to win a new vehicle for you and a friend? That's right, a new car for you and your wife, girlfriend, or a best bud. Just get to Lady Jane's and automatically register for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's Haircuts for men, open 7 days a week. Walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Big D Energy here on a Thursday. Darren McCarty, Lindsay Hunter in for Neil Rule, Spenmo Rax, Flannel Sam, and I cannot confirm nor deny, okay, whether Sam Flannel was Deshaun Watson's masseuse or not.
Well, that's just not right. Come on, guys. Come on. That's a little below the belt.
No, I cannot confirm nor deny, so I would not, God. Somebody said you were on the all-hands team.
Damn.
So
I can catch a football pretty well. That's the one thing I can do.
Okay. All right.
Sam, the Ethan Roselle, Oklahoma drill. You or Fish? You got
For
Fish?
me, 100%.
Oh yeah.
All right.
He just
I'm
jump
just-
over Fish.
What?
He just jump over Fish.
Well, I guess
Fish
it
has
reminds
heart,
me
though.
back when you said about the scout teams coming out in the 120s, and Fish would be.
Fish has heart though.
Fish has a lot of heart. You know what? I think Fish would wear down Sam.
I think
Flannel.
he could. Yeah.
I think he'd wear.
You give him enough cracks at him.
Yeah, no, just Flannel would just be like, they'll get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going back. Hey, you know what?
Hey, we didn't talk
Let me
about.
go grab my lotion.
We didn't talk about the hot dog eating contest. The Glizzy Gobblers.
The Glizzy Gobblers.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, 62 though.
I
Anybody,
watched it.
Like disappointed?
Well, they said it was because of the weather. You know.
But everybody's worried about the storm.
I don't know.
I mean, he did beat everybody by 20.
Dude, it was crazy. No, that's the most.
We asked Spenny that yesterday. Spenny said he could probably do 20, and I said, you know what? The first thing is, if you got to get over soggy buns, I can't get over soggy buns.
Yeah.
No,
Like
it's-
water, but no. If you can be like, oh, that's nothing, then you got a chance. But there's no freaking way.
It's did you watch it? It was disgusting.
No.
You consider it a sport?
I've seen this.
You consider it a sport?
I don't know what I consider that. I watched it though. Like
Yeah.
I sat there and watched it. I was fascinated enough to watch it. It was disgusting.
There's other things, but it is gross because it's
Dude.
like bun and come on, man. Like that's one of those things.
The-
Wet,
the
wet
slobbing.
bread. Nobody likes wet bread.
Wet bread's gross.
But you got to be able to get by it like it's nothing.
Dude, those dudes were chugging them things down like M&Ms. It was disgusting.
But yet you watch.
But yet I watched.
It's like a car accident. Like you can't look away.
Well, that leads to the question yesterday, Lindsay, where a lot of people were saying it's Joey Chestnut. Like some people were saying, I'm not going to put him the best American athlete, but is he top 10? Is a competitive eater? Can he be considered an athlete?
He's one of the best champions in the history
I called
of
him a
sport.
barthlete. Like I consider, like bar athletics, which means that's where food, cornhole, darts.
Yeah, he's one of those
tea.
guys. Yeah,
Those
he's
are
one of those.
bar athletics, drinking, because you have to, anything that is.
Yeah, because we wouldn't consider the guy that can consume the most alcohol a great athlete, right? He's a bar.
Yeah, I would.
Listen, back in the day, Spenny. Back in the day, we right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're bar fleets. That's a good one.
I like bar athletics.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest champions in the history of sport.
What's that?
Joey Chestnut, one of the greatest champions in the history of sport.
He owns everything, and when he talks about it too, if you break it down, how he trains his stomach and everything like that, like he trains the blow. There's cabbage things. And
He hangs like from a bar.
There's a strategy and stuff to it.
What?
He trains for this year round.
NASCAR is a sport, Bronner, Booner. NASCAR is a sport. It's a great sport. And you know what? When you realize they're just not turning one direction, there's just so much that goes into it to the thousandth of a second.
That's serious, dude.
I love Robbins racing.
That's
I love
serious.
fat. I don't want people to get hurt, but little paint, little swap of paint every now and then.
I like Formula One.
You like Formula One?
Yeah, that stuff's hype.
Well, I think too is the way that streaming's come out and been able to, especially Netflix, is to cover behind the scenes. Like that's where the understanding and it's so much more comes into it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Would you ever do anything like that? Like what would, if you had to do one food, what would be the food that you would like competitive eat? Is there one that?
I don't know if I want to eat anything that much.
Right.
Because it looks like everybody's going to throw up when they get done.
Like you can't.
I won an eating contest in Walled
Donut,
Lake.
right?
Yeah, shout out to Greenhouse in Walled Lake.
What were you guys eating?
They're donut holes, but it wasn't like a regular donut. It was like cake, so it was tough. Because if it was a regular donut hole, I was like, I could just pop it in my mouth, smash it in the roof of my mouth, with my tongue, and just go. But these were like cakey. But I put down, I think, 27 of them.
So were you sick afterwards?
No, I was good.
He was sick. He's sick before he does anything. He's just sick to begin with.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Oh God, no, that's just too much. I can't do it. Flannel, can you do that?
I mean, I think I could actually give Spenny more of a run for his money when it comes to eating. That I don't think I could beat him, but in terms of pound for pound, I think I could. I'm a pretty big eater myself, believe it or not.
What would be your choice of
your weapon of choice?
No, you know it's really funny, Spenny. You were kind of alluded to this yesterday. Doesn't Joey Chestnut have the record for soft shell tacos from Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Those are like air. You could just like eat them with one bite. So I could probably do. I don't know, what Joey Chestnut do, 53? I could probably do in the 20s. No question about it.
I think we might have to have a soft taco outdoor.
We talked about this yesterday too. Like, imagine the Joey Chestnut poop after eating 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Like, that would just be terrible. I feel like he'd be sweating more on the toilet than he was during the competition. Like, that would just not be fun.
Oh God!
I just wondered, like, people, does that appeal? Like, because your appeal is like the amazement of watching stuff like that.
Yeah, because I just want to see
the amazing things that you wouldn't do. Because I don't find any exciting. You know what I find exciting? All you can eat crab legs.
Oh,
yeah, that's exciting.
Like, sit there and crush them.
Yeah,
do all you can eat when we're down in Florida all the time. Do you know, like that, or oysters or stuff like that.
I love oysters.
But the fact to have to do it competitively, because I'll eat it till I'm uncomfortable. I just couldn't imagine.
I could do sushi. I could do a lot of
sushi. Be fun.
If I wasn't worried about like mercury poisoning, like I could eat an endless amount of sushi.
Sushi's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat anything till I'm sick. Like that. It just
fair.
makes me sick. I was getting sick watching them. Like, dude, they're just stuffing this crap down.
What was his record though? Like 75?
77.
Jeez.
Like,
in
how do
10
you,
minutes,
how
right?
do you
10
do
minutes.
that back then? And you only did 62.
Yeah, 77 hot dogs in 10 minutes doesn't even sound real.
Yeah, they said that the weather affected the something.
I don't
thickness
know
of the hot dogs.
How that works.
Yeah, the delay. I guess the delay in the weather delay the time. So his
so they were
his metabolism and the time was set for a certain way, and then it didn't happen.
Dan Wood did the math. That's 8.75 hot dogs per minute.
Jeez, that's crazy. I don't even I don't know, man. That's a glizzy gobbler.
That is a glizzy gobbler for sure. Glizzy gladiator. Like, the guy is just a monster.
Oh man.
I mean, so like July 4th though, like because it is the staple to everything else. Are you a hot dog, hamburger? Is that what you guys do? Barbecue it up like traditional like that?
Yeah.
You more a hamburger or a hot dog guy?
Probably burger.
Yeah.
Hot dogs
That's
are
funny
cool,
because
but I'm
we
a
do in the
burger
poll of more people prefer burgers than hot dogs.
Yeah.
If you had to go to, if I had my choice, though, it would definitely sort of be a sausage. I like that. Kowalski's. Kowalski sausage. Hey, Spenny?
Oh yeah.
Kowalski.
Oh yeah.
Company.
I love some sausages.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I don't know. You got to get by the bread. To me.
I can't do it.
No, but like all those, think about how gross that is, right? Like, it's the water bread. It's not like you have hot dogs hanging out there and just, I'd rather see them, less gross would be a tray of hot dogs and just like ripping hot dogs. Why you got to rip all the buns? That's what makes it gross.
But it's not a hot dog.
Then you see a good looking girl ripping like 20 of it, it's like.
Oh, they had the girls, the women was next.
Yeah.
She did 37.
I know. Right, which is hot and gross at the same time. Listen, kids, we'll get in. That's on the OnlyFans. That'll be hot and gross at the same time. You know what? When we come back, Lindsay asked D-Mac. I will address. Somebody asked the question: is what would I grade the Red Wings offseason so far? I'm gonna ask the same question, Lindsay, on the Pistons. So, but first, speaking of getting a glizzy, you know what you have to do before you get your glizzies on? You got to hit the Dispo. Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. With over 10 locations, Dispo is never far away. Visit disposhops.com today and unlock a world of endless possibilities in the realm of cannabis. That is disposhots.com, your local cannabis plug.
Love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Wrapping up here Thursday, Big D Energy, Darren, McCarty, Lindsay, Hunter, Sam Flannel, Spen, Mo, Rax, Todd Sane. Woolworth's natural casing hot dogs are the best in the world. Can only get them in the UP in northern Wisconsin. Put that in my memory bank. You had those?
I haven't had those, but when I was in Ann Arbor for Father's Day, we were at my brother's house, and he had these portobello spinach Swiss brats that were dank, and these like curry brats that like had curry. They were both really good.
Bam.
Yeah.
Portobello mushroom.
Yeah.
In your hot dog.
Yeah.
I love it. Just wrapping up here. Whoever asked the question, what would I give the off season so far for Steve Yzerman and the Wings? A B. B, maybe B plus. Here's the thing, he's sticking to his plan, and maybe I might have gone a different way, and I sat here and said I think he's going to do something to the trade. I don't think he's going to use all the picks. Well, what did he do? He used all the picks. He pivoted, but he also told me why, because looking at the salary cap for the next 2 years and how it's going to go, they're not going to spend the money now. They're going to work on the defense. You nailed it earlier when you said it. Sometimes we're used to, when we played, you get the star guys and then you build it around them. What he's doing is he's building, insulated, and then going to bring the star in. Why? Another thing that he said is that you look at Vegas, and I'm paraphrasing Steve Yzerman, you look at Vegas, and they got results from the inside, from guys they drafted. Yeah, they did a great job in starting the organization, but it's guys that they drafted that have come to play, or guys that they got in their organization.
Exactly.
So that's what he's looking for. So right now, I can always get better. But I know what direction he's going to be. How about for the Pistons for you right now?
Yeah, I'll give him a C plus, B minus. I love the coaching hire, and so far I love the acquisitions that they've obtained so far, and we just got to see how Monty's gonna develop this talent, as well as use the veteran guys that they have, and how our young core is going to develop, and if they can stay healthy, because we haven't seen them play together. We got to see Cade and Ivy and Darren and Wiseman. We got to see these guys on the floor for extended periods of time.
That's number one, Lindsay, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we haven't seen it. Everything we're talking about is just speculation over the past 2 years.
Haven't
but we haven't seen our core guys even together. So right now we might as well throw them on NBA 2K23 because that's what it might look like.
Exactly, and that's what we're waiting to see. These guys on the floor, extended periods of time, healthy, so they can get some type of cohesiveness and know, where Ivy likes the ball, or where Cade likes it, or where Darren likes it, or all of these.
Is that
guys.
some of the things maybe and I'm going to end the show maybe the way that we started in asking you about the summer league of how do I watch this Pistons team? All the other talent and stuff, but what am I looking for? If I'm watching, is it the continuity of these guys being on the floor together, even the younger guys? Yeah,
you're watching and you're trying to see how the younger guys are going to fit with the guys you already have. You're going to see, what level of IQ he has basketball-wise, because you haven't seen him play with this level of competition. So now that matters, what is he like in different situations? Can he run pick and roll? Can he come off down screens? You know, what are the things that he needs to work on to get better at? And those are the things you're looking at, especially with rookies. You know, rookies don't have a clue about the speed of the NBA game, so they're learning on the fly right now. And you're just looking to see, you know, what level is he at right now and what level can we get him to?
No, and that's all you can ask for, and it's exciting. Anybody else around the league? We mentioned Wembanyama, but you know, because somebody like Wembanyama, Brandon Miller. So is it all these young guys? Is it that we don't know about the guys
Right.
who are making that transition with, like I mentioned, from the elites or the colleges to see if they're ready to play the man's game?
Right. See, I watched Brandon Miller. I watched him play multiple games. First game, he was okay, 16 points, 6 turnovers, 6 fouls. You know, so but you see the talent. And last night he struggled. He I think he only had maybe 8 points. Didn't take many shots. And listening to the commentators, and they were asking the questions like, whose responsibility is it for Brandon Miller? He only took 8 shots. Does he have to be more aggressive, or do the coaches have to do more to get him? Well, it's a combination of both, but as a player, he has to take the onus to be aggressive himself, because it wasn't like he wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah.
He had the ball a lot. He just was a little reluctant. And the physicality kind of bothered him a little bit, because he's thin too. You know, and but he'll be fine. His skill level, you can see it. He can shoot the ball. He can put it on the floor. He can get to the basket. He can pass. He's NBA ready.
I love it. I think that the only, what are any of the other questions you're looking to answer there, watching, you know, as a development camp for the Wings end, you know, stuff like this. You got summer league games. We're getting closer to training camp for the Pistons. You know, what watch you over the next week or so?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the dog days of summer, that's for sure. There's not a lot going on.
Right.
But I just want to see how the young guys grow. I want to see how the chemistry they build together, how they're going to play off each other, what their roles will be eventually when they get to the actual show. So this is the first place we can do it, the first place we can put eyes on them, so that's always good.
Right.
No, it is. It is always good to whatever it is going on. What do I got going on?
What do you got?
I got a bunch of golf tournaments this weekend. I got tomorrow. I got the Walled Lake Police Fun Tournament. I'm in Canada on Saturday. My old stomping grounds, Red Lake Junior, up in Belleville, doing a tribute. Next week, though, I want to show you the thing is next week over Slammiversary, Impact Wrestling, which will be on Fight TV and stuff like that.
I gotta watch.
Go get through, put through a table again and stuff like this. Other than that, got to play a little bit of golf. Neil will be back next week. I'll be back next week. You boys have fun tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Bottom line is, Lindsay, we're all in good shape with our sports teams, right?
Yeah,
Tony D said to start the day off. It's the Tigers team. It's strange, but it's weird. But enjoy them. For Sam Flannel, Spend More Rocks. That's Lindsay Hunter. I'm Darren McCarty. Deuces.
Peace.
See you later.